Hey, how's it going, Cat? I'm FSUA Gaming here with a pretty cool video. So actually, we're going to be doing a product review, yes. So our good friends at T238 hit me up and asked if I wanted to test out one of their brand new, more affordable, efficient brushless motors. So of course I said heck yeah. So we're going to be testing it in one of my personal airsoft guns. So I'm going to be using a 11.1 1200 mAh battery for this testing, and the motor that's installed in it right now is the real deal 2.0 golden type motor. Now it is a brushed motor, but this is one of the higher end ones. Just take a listen how snappy this thing is. And as you can see, this thing shoots pretty nice. So let's take it over to the chronograph and see the specs on it. Alright, so we are at our little tiny shooting box, and we're going to be testing it with 0.2 gram BBs and an 11.1 LiPo 1200 milliamp by 10 energy. So let's give it a couple shots using 0.2 grams again. 410, nope. 414, 414, 413, 412. Oh, that was a mystery. 412. 414, and let's do a little bit of a full auto. We're looking at 1500 rounds per minute at 25 rounds per second, as you can see. So there we go. That's a pretty good test reading right there. We're looking at 1.62 joules as well, and this is again with the real deal 2.0 motor and 11.1 LiPo battery. And again, just right here, we're using the 11.1 1200 milliamp battery. So let's go ahead and switch out the motor with the T238, and let's see the difference. So as you can see, my gun shoots already pretty good as it is, but I really think this T238 brushless motor is going to really unlock some potential. So taking a look at the packaging, you can see it's very standard. It has some bold lettering on it, and it is cardboard, but it's very structurally sound. Now I really do like the T238 packaging. In comparison to its older brother, and as you can see right here, it's pretty similar. It's the same format, it's just a box, you know, but it's really sturdy. And when you flip it over, you can see there is a disclaimer. It says, do not use other brand ETUs, do not power the motor in an unloaded state, do not reverse connection of positive and negative poles, and do not use any battery greater than 12.6 volts. So please keep that in mind, because that does void the warranties. But when you open up the box, you can see it is packaged very nicely. There is a lot of nice thick foam, and you can see even the bottom of the packaging has a nice little layer to protect it from any bumps and little punctures from the bottom of the box. So that's just really nice that they put that added protection in there for you. Now, one of the things I'm pretty excited about this motor is that it's supposed to be pretty efficient on battery consumption. So I love efficiency because I don't like spending a lot of money on LiPo batteries. So let's take a look at the motor itself. First glances, this color combo is just amazing. It has that blue and that gold royal look. The back is some really clean engravings as well. It says quick response, high efficiency, and low loss. So you already know that is what this motor is going to be delivering to you. On the bottom part, you can see it's nice and clean, just like the T238, the more expensive version of it, where you can just take out the 4 bolts, pop off the bottom, and look at the MOSFET itself. Looking at the tower, it's made of really nice aluminum and it's very sturdy. Even the spring is nice and strong, so that's always nice to see. And there's no wobble at all. And one thing that I do like is that little hole right there means that this pinion gear is actually a D-type style. So that means, unlike other motors where it's really hard, we gotta punch out the pinion gear and really just, it's a hassle to change out. These ones, you can just unscrew it, pop it off, and swap it on with a new one. So you don't need to buy a new motor or a special tool. And the pinion gears are only about $7 online. So that is really nice to see that you can repair this motor and it's not a hassle. So comparing the two motors side by side, on the left we got the QRBLS, and on the right we got the BL480. As you can see, the build material is almost identical. So when I was actually talking to Mike from T238, he was actually telling me the reason why they can make the QRBLS a little bit more cheaper than the BL480s is because they just limit the features. So what I mean by that is that you're getting the exact same motors, it's just you're not paying for a certain feature, and that feature can be found on the bottom of the motors. On the right side on the BL480, you can see that there is an adjustment screw for the RPM. On the left, there isn't. So you can actually go to their website and you can choose which RPM you want. So for me, I wanted 25K because I'm not looking for speed, I'm looking for efficiency and semi-auto response. So if you know which type of motor you want, it's just really nice to not have to pay for an option or a feature that you might not be using as much as other people. So before we install this brushless motor, I gotta teach you guys how to take out your existing motors. So there should be 2 screws on the bottom of your pistol grip. Now some have one in the front and one on the back part, and even some have one on the front that just latches on, and some are even just squeezed in by the side. So for our case, we're just gonna go ahead and take out these 2 screws and go from there.
So one of the methods I find that's pretty useful to taking off the pistol grip is just take your thumb and push down on it and go ahead and use your Harbor Freight screwdriver to unscrew the two Phillips screws. Perfect. So once you guys take the screws out or any of the parts that you've taken out, go ahead and put them to the side and hold on to the motor plate and carefully take it off. Sometimes there's going to be a little metal disc right there. If there is, just make sure you do not lose it and you just put it back on the little hole before installation. Now the second part you guys are going to do is take off the wires. Now it could be a little bit intimidating for your first time, do not worry. So you can go ahead and just use some pliers and just a little bit of force, grab it from the head only, not behind the wire but on the flat part. Then take your time with it, wiggle it out slowly and make sure you do not rip or bend the heads. If you bend them too much, they will break and you're gonna have to solder some new ones on. So take your time with this one. And right there we got the motor that I've been using for the past 2 years, the exact same one with the same pinning gear. This has been in over 15 builds and this is my very first real deal motor, my very first real deal product. So this one is very sentimental to me. I love it. This is mine. I treasure it. I'm going to put it to the side. Now we're going to be actually installing the brushless motor. Now it's going to be the exact same way you took out the last motor. You want to be careful and you want to make sure you put a little bit of lube on the top of the pinning gear. Just a little bit goes a long way. Now any type of synthetic grease like super lube will work. For my case, we're going to be using the real deal AIRSOFT multi-use grease. Now this stuff works pretty good as well and I love it a lot. So just a little bit of tap, like I said, a little bit goes a long way. I just put it on top of the pinion head and on the little teeth, so when it's spinning around, it's not just going to be dryly rubbing against the bevel gear. And that way, just rub it around, clean off any excess, and you are good to go. As you can see, like I said, a little bit is all you need. And the other thing you got to do before installing this motor is take out these little heat sinks. There's going to be a black one and a red one located on the bottom of the terminals. So once you take those off, it's just going to allow the connectors to get a full nice seat in. That's what you want. You don't want it to be sitting halfway on. So make sure you take these off so you get the best connection possible. One thing I would like to point out, it's very important to memorize how your wires configuration is laid out. The reason being is that most airsoft guns might be configured a little bit differently, so just take note and make sure you install it the same way as your stock motor was. Now when installing your new brushless motor, make sure there's no binding and make sure when you push down on it, it's not grinding. If it is, stop, pull it back out and make sure the wires are completely out of the way and it's not catching on anything. Once that is done and the motor is sitting properly, go ahead and take your positive cable and connect it to the positive terminal, and then your negative wire, you just want to kind of fish it to the side or however yours is already configured and reinstall it as well. Just push them down and make sure they are fully seated and then push down on the motor itself to see if the tabs pop off. If the tabs do pop off, you can take just small little pliers and then squeeze the connectors just a little bit so it's more snug. And if it's too tight, then go ahead and take a little flathead or something, put it into the motor connector tabs and just open it very lightly and very slowly. Once that's all done and the wires are out of the way, go ahead and take your motor plate, lay it right on top, and then use your thumb just like when you're taking it apart and use it to hold it down. Now take your screws and then just go ahead and tighten them down, and then once you get them all the way down, just torque it one more quarter turn. That way when you're shooting the gun, the motor won't accidentally vibrate the motor plate screws out. So before we have fun with this gun, we need to adjust the motor height. I'm going to show you guys how to. So on the bottom of your pistol grip, there should be either a hex screw or a flathead screw. For mine, it's going to be a flathead. So from now, you just want to take your flathead tool and insert it into the flathead groove. So this is where we can actually adjust our motor height. To the right, we're going to tighten the motor, and to the left, we're going to loosen the motor. So it's pretty straightforward. So now I'm going to teach you guys what it actually does. So from an X-ray perspective, as you can see, the motor is going up and down. This is what happens when you tighten it. You don't want it too high where it's grinding, and then you don't want it too loose where it's just going to snap off the teeth. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do it properly. So when you install your motor, it's already going to be set at the stock motor height. Now most of the times it's pretty close to where it needs to be, if not on it. So what I like to do from here is just to tighten the motor just a little bit by a quarter turn, and then shoot it, and then a quarter turn and shoot it until I hear the difference of pitch. From there, we know that we're starting to reach where we're getting too high into the bevel gear. So from here, we're just going to loosen it one quarter turn and keep shooting until we find a nice balance. You want it to sound the smoothest shot while not being too loose. The reason why you don't want it too loose is, yes, it's going to sound smoother when it's loose, but the thing is though, you're just going to start snapping and wearing down the pinion and bevel gears. So you want to do it the right way. You want it to do very slow, really make sure you do your adjustments correctly and get the perfect meshing. You want the bevel and the pinion gear to line up on the bottom nice and smooth, just like that. So this is just another example of the same method on a different model gun. This in particular is the G&G ARP9, and as you can see it's the same, right to tighten, left to loosen. Now if you guys have any questions, you guys just need help, just feel free to comment down below. I'll try my best to help every single one of you guys.
Alrighty, Academy, so we got the brushless motor installed and the motor height is adjusted to where it should be. So we're going to give it the first couple shots. This is with the same battery, is fully charged again, so we have as least amount of variations as possible. So safe, semi-auto. Oh god, oh my lord. That's an HPA gun. That's an HPA gun. That's literally an HPA gun. Oh my lord. Okay. Full auto.
And as you can see, that was my genuine reaction. I was literally giddy with joy. This thing is amazing. This motor makes this gun feel like an HPA gun. It is so quiet, so semi-auto responsive. Now yes, the full auto is not no extravagant 50 RPS like we all think with brushless, but that's because it's just a 25k RPM motor, and that's what I want. I want a semi-auto efficient motor and not really full auto, because my fields around here are full auto banned, so there's no point in me to have that functionality. One thing I do really like about this motor is how easily it pulls back my spring. Now I am running an M130 spring with 2 teeth cut off the sectors release side to help with any type of overspin, and as you can see, this gun is shooting absolutely amazing. It sounds fantastic. I am excited to take it to the field. So let's take it to the chrono and let's see what this thing is actually doing.
I'm not as fast as some of the other people. Wow.
You know, I was gonna cut that part out, but like I said, this thing, semi-auto response, is absolutely crazy. Anyways, now let's go to the chrono.
Alrighty, so we got the gun right here with the chronograph, so everything is exactly the same. 100% fully charged battery with the same 0.2 gram BBs. 419 FPS, 414, 416, 415, 415, 415, 416. Oh, I am out. Let me go fill up some more BBs and let me check the full auto. The magazine is fully loaded again, and let's check it out with the full auto. All right, here we go. Okay, 3 readings. Each one is reading 1500, which is the exact same rate of fire. So we are actually still at 25 rounds per second, but the one thing I do notice with this build is the rate of fire has actually, I mean, the trigger sensitivity, my apologies, has increased exponentially. This thing is super spammable now. For instance, I can just, and I'm out.
Now, I love the Real Deal 2.0 Golden motor. That is the best brushed motor on the market in my opinion. But for brushless, at a reasonable price and affordable where anybody can get this motor, this is going to change the game. This motor is absolutely amazing and I love it with all of my heart. One of the things that really fascinates me is that you got these Crytek 30Ks for about $75, these SHS ones for $30 to $40, these G&G ones for about $50, and then you got the T238 QRBLS. Now this motor stands out from the rest because it's the same price as a Crytek motor. So why would I go for a Crytek motor if I can get this brushless motor? This thing is going to change the game. The nice part is with the older one, the BL480, a lot of people were kind of nervous on hopping into brushless because a lot of people had overspin issues because the guns were shooting too fast. But now with these QRBLS, you can really just buy a motor, drop it in your gun, and not have to worry about that issue, because the 25k ones aren't going to give you no crazy RPS, but it is going to give you some crazy semi-auto, which is what most people are looking for. Overall, I just really do like this motor. From the look, from the construction, the feel, the price, the quality, the performance, it's definitely a big W for me. FSUA Gaming approved 100%, and please stay tuned. You're going to be seeing some future builds with these motors. I really do like them. Now, there are some things I do got to point out though. So Mike from T238 told me to tell you guys, 1, Do not use other brands ETU with a T238 brushless motor. They might damage the ETU, therefore no warranty, and cause overheat overload protection by electrical interference. Number 2. T238 ETU and T238 brushless motor make the best pair. Even though we don't allow using other brand ETUs with the T238 motor, please bear in mind that active braking must be off. So that is one of the things that T238 Mike wanted me to let you guys know before you guys buy this motor for yourself. Now, I will tell you guys that I am using a Perun version 2 hybrid MOSFET for this video, and I have tried this motor with the G&G ARP9s with the G2 gearbox that have the ETU, and I haven't had any issues at all with it. But please bear in mind that is at my own risk, and that does void the warranty for these motors. But they do recommend you using their own brand of MOSFETs. Now, their own brand of MOSFETs start off from a plethora of ranges. They even have some really basic ones that don't support the brushless motors, but if you guys are in the market for some cheap ones, then you can find them on eBay from $28 all the way to $115 being their most expensive MOSFET. Now, they have a pretty cool one for $69. It is an optical based one, just like the Peruns and the Gate Asters. There's light censored MOSFETs and they work really cool. The best part about it is even at $69 you are getting an app based control MOSFET. So unlike the Peruns, you actually are able to connect it to an app and actually tune it from your phone. So that's actually a really cool thing to see, that they are making really high quality AIRSOFT stuff to the market that are beautiful looking. They work great at an affordable price. So you will definitely be seeing more T238 on this channel. I'm excited to try some of their new stuff, and I've really been wanting one of the rainbow RGB tracer units because it's a rainbow and it's really cool looking. And yes, that is the video. That is my official review of this motor, and it's my honest review, and I will stand on this hill for it. Anyways, thank you so much, Mike from T238, for sending out this motor to me and making this video happen. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. The only reason why any of this is happening is because of you guys. So if you guys like this video and if you guys like these types of reviews, please comment, subscribe, and like, and share these videos to your friends so we can grow this cat army to 2,000 followers. Yes, that'll be awesome. So anyways, love you, cat army. Have a wonderful day, and as always, peace.